What do you think the most dangerous movie ever made was?
Moana.
Close.
Animated, not live action.
Yeah. I go just saying it's hard to animate something. It's scary.
Oh, dude.
No, it was a movie called Roar. It's a movie where the cast and crew spent 11 years with live, untrained lions, tigers, jaguars, elephants. I think there was even a giraffe or two in there.
Dude, my life with 3 untrained cats is dangerous enough. House cats.
It's sketchy.
This episode is wild.
I hate you.
This is Things I Learned Last Night. Every week we learn about something interesting and we joke around. It's a good time. We like it a lot. This is September
17th.
You're seeing this. September 27th, I am in Houston, Texas.
Ooh,
so
God's Houston. God's Houston.
God's Houston.
God's country.
Yeah.
Houston, Texas.
Okay. So Joel, if you see this, come on out to the show. And then on October 4th, I am in Bartlesville, Oklahoma.
God's Oklahoma.
And then October 11th, I'm in Tempe, Arizona. Satan's Arizona. I knew you were going to do it. Tickets for all that stuff is on my website. Would love to see you there. It's going to be a wild time.
Oh, no. Hey, man.
Feels exciting. Just my blood flowing. I love to message William Hung.
Hey, man.
What's up?
Have you ever heard of Roar?
Roar?
Roar.
Romance on a Rocket Ship?
Nope.
Popular musician in 2009?
Nope, not that one.
What was Romance on a Rocket Ship songs? You know them. Because every girl you had a crush on loved Romance on a Rocket Ship.
I've never heard of them.
Yeah, you have. Play their stuff. Let's get demonetized.
Oh, I recognize him. But I don't think I've ever... Skin and Bones is the first song that came up.
Play it.
I know I'm nothing but skin and bones, but I should...
Never heard it in my life.
You've heard that. You listened to that. That's
know.
the music you listen to.
That is not the music I listen to. That Scene Kid music, I made fun of Scene Kids. I listened to metalcore. I punched Scene Kids in mosh pits.
You made fun of Scene Kids, but you had crush on Scene Girls.
That's actually very accurate. And that's what
You're
every
like, "That's
metalcore kid
so
was.
dumb."
Every metalcore kid made fun of Scene Kids and had crushes on
Yeah,
Scene
well, you were
Girls.
trying to make fun of the Scene Kids so that the Scene Girls wouldn't think they were cool anymore.
Yeah, that's pretty fair.
Yeah.
That's pretty fair.
It's pretty wild that even at the lower tiers of being bullied, you guys still bullied each other. Because real bullies bullied both of you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
Even in the lower tiers, you guys are like just
everybody
people
has
in
to-
economy fighting on a flight.
Everybody
you know what
has
I'm
to
saying?
put themselves in a pecking order wherever you can get, and you just got to fight to
You guys
get
are
higher
boarding
on the-
group C, just still duking it out. The boarding group C of life.
Yeah, but I got the emergency row.
Yeah.
So I've got more leg room.
If you're in boarding group C, you're not getting an emergency row. I'm telling you that now.
So no, Roar is a movie from 1981.
Okay.
Here's the movie poster for it.
A ferocious comedy.
Yeah, so this poster, it says Roar in big red letters, and there's a old-fashioned car, and then some tigers, and
cool
some
movie
lions, and some giraffes, and a dude on a motorcycle. It looks like Tarzan.
That is not a dude on a motorcycle.
Yeah, up there.
It is. I see.
Up there by the Roar. So a little bit of backstory on this movie. It was produced by a couple by the names of Noel Marshall and Tippi Hedren. Noel was a big-time movie agent, so he was an agent for a lot of movie stars. He did get into producing. He produced and co-produced a couple movies, but wasn't like a big producer yet. Like he was just kind of getting tiptoeing around being a producer.
Yeah.
Tippi, on the other hand, his wife, Tippi was a pretty big-time movie star. She was in, to give you some of her bigger, I should say, she was in like 83 movies.
Oh.
She was in a couple Alfred Hitchcock movies. She was in The Birds. She won a Golden Globe. She won a Lifetime Achievement Award from Genesis. And if you go through her Wikipedia, she has a long section of awards and achievements.
Okay.
So she's, a very noteworthy actress in Hollywood is the point I'm trying to make here. She was filming a movie in Africa, And on one of the off days, her and her husband were like, let's go be tourists in Africa. So they went and they did a safari. They do the safari. And while on the safari, they're kind of doing that thing, you know, that couples do sometimes where they like dream and
hope. And they go, we should own all of these animals.
We should start a safari.
Yeah.
Well, they're on this safari and they're like, hey, wouldn't it be fun to do a movie where there was, I don't know, a scientist who had a bunch of lions and he was living with the lions and he wanted to see what life could be like if we could find unity between the lions and humanity. And that was the dream that they had. And so the two of them, they go back to Los Angeles where they lived. I don't know if I showed you a picture of them yet. This is them.
Okay.
This is her solo when she was early in her acting career.
Right.
But this is early 70s at this point. Or maybe late 60s at this point. Late 60s. They say, okay, let's pursue this. They're like, but let's give it some time because they were like, well, this is going to be a difficult thing to film logistically.
Right.
And so like we need to get, I think most people would say, let's find some people who are professionals when it comes to lions and let's bring in some trainers and have a couple lions on set to film this and have trainers who like have trained lions or like maybe circus lions or something like that. And they said, no, let's get lions when they're infants. What's the
cubs.
word? Cubs? Are they pups?
Are you
Kittens?
are you dumb right
Kittens?
now? Are you dumb? Are you doing a bit?
Are they cubs? Lion cubs? What is it? Lion. What's the word?
Are you joking right now?
I mean, I probably know it. I just don't remember it.
They're called kids.
Oh, do they really call them kids?
Yeah.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't. Baby lion name. It's a cub.
Idiot.
God, I hate you, kid. See, anyways, so they get they get a couple lion cubs. They move them into their home in Los Angeles.
Pups. You suggested pups. I just want everyone to know. I just want everyone to know how stupid you are.
They get a couple lion cubs. Here's the thing. I said cubs first, but then that didn't feel right. They're cats. Cubs is what you call bears. And so I was like, no, they're cats. Shut up. Don't
bears?
gaslight me like this. Gosh, I hate you.
They're called gummy bears.
Oh, look at its gummy bears.
Mama bear. Mama bear.
Mama bear, gummy bear.
Mama bear and bibithes.
Mama bear, Papa bear, gummy bear. So they get a couple lion cubs as infants. Where they got them, I don't know.
As cubs.
As
and
cubs.
they're like, let's raise them. That is, I'm going to tell you, that's my wife's logic. She's like, no. She literally was like, can we get a raccoon? I said, no, we can't get a raccoon.
Yeah.
Absolutely, we cannot get a raccoon. With three
But
cats.
if it's a baby when you get it.
That's exactly what she
Then
said.
it loves
She's like,
you.
but you'll raise it and it'll be, and I was like, that thing will tear your eyes out. She also wants birds.
Well, did she see that TikTok? Is that what that is?
I'm sure. My wife wants, so have I told you about this? A macaw?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
This sounds familiar.
You know what a macaw is,
Yeah,
right?
it's a parrot.
The what you think of when you think of a parrot, the red, blue, green, white,
Aladdin.
White and black face.
The Aladdin parrot, yeah.
Do you know how long they live? Have we talked about this?
I think we have like 70 years.
7? I didn't know that.
That's insane.
Wild.
That's an
those things
insane
live.
lifespan.
So we have a family member.
Yeah.
Someone in my family is trying to rehome their 30-year-old macaw because they are
40
going
more years on that thing.
That's what I'm saying. They're getting too old and going to probably go to a home.
Yeah.
And they can't take their macaw that they got 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And so Reagan was like, oh, we should get that bird. And I said, we should absolutely not get that bird.
That sounds like a nightmare.
That bird's as old as I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, what would we name it? I said, you'd probably leave its name because it's 30.
Because it knows.
It'd be like if I got adopted by two new people who are like, we're your parents and we're going to change your name. No, you're not. I'm 30.
An adult.
I'm a grown man. You
can't change my name.
His name's been Tiki for 30 years. You can't change
just
that.
go change it, yeah.
I said, also, we have 3 cats. She goes, no, the bird's bigger than the cats. I said, that's why I can't come in this apartment. So that's my wife's logic. My wife is like, we can get baby cubs.
Yeah, I bet she saw that TikTok with it was the mom who really sad story. Her child passed away right afterwards.
She met a raccoon. And she was like,
Yeah, she met a raccoon.
in there?
She met a raccoon.
She thinks it's her kid. She's at a mental break. She's been raising this raccoon as her own child.
No, what happened was there was
She tried to enroll it in school. She put shoes on it. And she was like, he's got shoes.
The raccoon
You have to let him go to school.
It was a little baby raccoon was coming up to her kitchen window.
You're not letting me do this bit over here.
She was
Andy Raccoon. All right.
She was feeding the raccoon Fruit Loops.
Yeah.
It was a little baby raccoon. The raccoon came back with friends, and then the raccoon like moved into her backyard, and she would feed it, and it became like part of their family, and lived the rest of its life in their backyard. They didn't let them in.
Ray claims that her grandparents had pet raccoons.
Yeah.
Not sure how much I believe that, but
yeah, I mean they probably just had raccoons.
they probably just had a cat that looked like a raccoon.
They probably just had a raccoon problem.
That's
It's like,
what you're saying is pets. They would call it an infestation.
It was pests.
Pests.
Yeah, they said pests, but they had a list. They had a reverse lisp, so they couldn't pronounce S's. Pet. It's our pet.
They can't pronounce S's.
Can't pronounce S's. They didn't have any teeth. Pest. Pet. Peft. Peft.
That
It's our peft.
that a hard Latin.
It's hard to
learn.
sound.
Some of our bits evolved into problematic areas so fast.
So they get these cubs, and they're like, okay. They get these cubs, and they're like, can we raid them?
We do that the whole episode. That sucks, dude. Tim Locker's so mad right now.
So they get these
We have
cubs.
a client. We do professional work. We're professionals.
Yeah, we are.
And our client has apparently started listening to the podcast. I wish he would.
Yeah, we keep telling him to
He
stop.
keeps showing up to our.
Can't trust
he
us.
keeps being like, you guys are really dumb.
Like,
And
what are
we're
we paying you for?
Shush. Just pay your invoice.
We're like, because we can't do that sound. Shushing someone when you can't make us sounds is so hard.
Stupid.
So roar. So
I hate it.
So they get these blind cubs. At this point, they have a couple children. They're in the suburbs of LA.
Sure.
And they're raising their children with these cubs. And
I've heard of these people. Yeah.
And so they have a couple.
I've seen
a couple more.
The lions, like just full on lions in their house.
Yeah. So it ends up getting to the point where they've got 5 full-grown lions in their home.
Yeah.
Someone, probably a neighbor or something.
And they never told anybody. They didn't tell their landlord. The landlord's like, you guys paying pet rent for those? All right. Do you guys?
Well, they're not renters.
Wait a minute.
She's a movie star. They're not renters. They've got like a nice home in like the hills.
Oh, you got to be rich to own a home. Anyway, what I was saying was we should do a TV show. All right, let's pitch this.
Okay.
Where we just go to hotels that have a pet policy.
Yeah.
And we register that we have 2 cats. And we just try to bring a live tiger into these hotel rooms.
Yeah. That's a great idea.
It's wonderful.
I think that's really funny. Yeah. And then we don't put the do not disturb on, and we put a tip on the bed. And the tiger's there right next to the tip.
So now you're playing a game with housekeeping?
Yeah, but there's a tip.
You took that to an elite level. That was so different than what I was saying.
What are you saying?
I'm just seeing if we can get the tiger in the room to get away with the pet policy. You're saying let's subject someone who works minimum wage cleaning hotel rooms to a challenge for their tip. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
You elite.
Yeah. And make good TV.
Of crap.
So they've got these 5 lions in their house in the Hollywood Hills.
Someone goes, hey, you can't have those.
Yeah. Their son,
HOA is
their son's 15. Their son's 15 at the time. And he starts pointing out some inaccuracies because they've been talking about this. So like, this is going to be a movie. It's going to take place in Africa. There's going to be a scientist and he's going to be living with the lions. And he's like, I think we've got some issues here. I don't think that there's things that are scientifically accurate because they've got a couple lions, but they also have like a mountain lion. They've got a tiger. And he's like, there's no tigers in Africa or mountain lions. Like this is an American mountain lion. And they were like, don't worry about it. Like,
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So, this is also the 70s, right?
Yeah, this is early 70s at this point.
In the early days of this show, we did like affiliate ads where we were like, hey, sign up for Grammarly and use code TILLN and we got like 15 cents. And now we just do Patreon. It's a much better way. It's better for us as creators. It's better for you as listeners. And it's a much more fun way for us to interact. We do monthly hangouts like on Zoom. We just hang out and play games online and get to know each other. It's a really fun time. So, but still use our code TILLN at Grammarly.com because I think it's still active. It is still active. Might get like a couple cents from that. Yeah. But join us on Patreon because we're having a great time.
Yeah. If you don't, we're going to have to start doing mobile game ads. So yeah, one of their neighbors tips off animal control and is like, hey, I'm pretty sure they have live lions in their house in the Hollywood
Animal
Hills.
Control's like in their house? Who cares?
And so animal control comes, they knock on the door, they see the lions, and they give them a 24-hour remove the giant African apex predators from your house notice.
Just sit in the window, sunbathing. They're supposed to ask, they go, that's a lion.
Yeah, that's a lion. Yeah, so animal control literally is like you have 24 hours to get the big cats out of your... Yes, yeah. And they're like, you have 24 hours to get the lions out of your house. And he's like...
And they're like, I'm a sovereign citizen. I know my rights according to Article 4 and 8 of the American Constitution.
So they're like, okay, what are we gonna do? And I think this is actually.
Where do they live in LA? Do you know?
I don't know. The Hollywood Hills. That's all I know.
Oh, okay.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about what happened here.
Okay.
They were. This is, I think, a testament to the times because they got a 24-hour notice. They said you have 24 hours to get rid of these big cats. And they were able to pull it off by buying property outside LA. And so they bought, it is now, well, hold on. Let me see if I can figure out exactly what Santa Clarita.
Oh.
So they bought it a little way out, a little outside of town.
The mountains.
Yeah. And really outside Santa Clarita too. It's like property, they've got an acreage out there. But they were able to pull that off in 24 hours and get the lions out of there.
They were also rich.
Yeah, but I just think that's a sign of the times. It's like, oh yeah, in the 70s you could go buy property in 24 hours. Yeah.
And then
and then go drop your lions off there. And then now they've got acres
in the
of
car.
Land. Yeah, they've got a cabin and they've got acres of land outside of Santa Clarita. And now they're like, well, wait a second. Can we up the ante a little bit? Like, can we get some more? And so they started going to like zoos and circuses and just places that have...
Hey, can we have your lions?
Yeah, pretty much. And so they were...
Or just at the zoo.
Yes.
Like, we'll take them. And the zoo's like, what? We'd like your lions, please.
Yeah, we like the lions that you guys have. Yeah, hold on. Hold on. I don't think I understand. I don't think I understand what you're asking right now.
I'd like to take your lions.
Yeah.
And I'd like you to go in there and get your tip.
Wait, excuse me. What?
That's them looking down on a.
Oh.
That's what you were doing.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
I've left $100 for you in the center of the lion cage.
So over the course of the 70s. Over the course of the 70s, from that moment until 1979, now that they've got some property, they just started accumulating more big cats. Until 1979, when they decided, okay, now we're ready to begin producing our movie. They got to the point where they now have, are you ready for this? I'm going to start on they got some other animals too. So I'm going to start on one end of it. They had a marabou stork, 7 flamingos, 2 peacocks, 4 cranes, 4 Canadian geese, 6 black swans, 2 elephants, 4 leopards, 2 jaguars, 10 cougars, 9 black panthers, a tigon, which is a lion tiger put together, that they like crossbreeded, 26 tigers, and 71 lions. Just on their property. roaming around.
They've got cages and stuff.
No, it's like an open, they're free range lions and tigers and elephants. They've free ranged them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They used to have 3 elephants.
So they start trying to cast this movie, right? He's a bit of a producer.
Oh, no. We've built our own wild safari. And we'd like to, this is what they're putting out at a rudimentary level.
Yeah.
Our backyard is full of wild animals.
Yes.
No cages.
Yes.
Why don't you come film here?
So the concept that they put out is here's the plot. Here's the basic plot line of what the movie is going to be. There's a scientist in Africa, and he has been living in Africa at this cabin with all these lions.
Okay.
And he's been training the lions, and he's trying to develop like a theory where lions
Training the lions?
I should maybe say studying the lions. He's. I mean, I guess he is training them because he has this theory that lions and humans can
I've been
live
training
peacefully
your dogs
together. Oh my gosh,
every time I come to your house, I bring little treats and I train your dogs.
He said this to me on the phone the other week, and honestly, it's a pretty funny bit
in Spanish, and so that way, one day when I'm at your house, I can just be like, "Vámonos." And then your dog will come to me because your dogs don't pay attention to you at all. I don't know if you know this. Your dogs are not very well behaved. They don't respect your commands at all. My goal is to convince you that I'm just their alpha. And like they just respond to my commands.
Yeah. Yeah. That's honestly a hilarious bit to do to somebody.
To you.
Do it to somebody else.
I was going to wait till I make your wife mad.
Yeah.
It happens every time we hang out. And yeah. And then right at the peak of her just being like, what are you talking? I was going to be like, I'm leaving. Vámonos. And then get your dog to go too.
Dog just jumps up and runs out the building with you.
It's a pretty good bit.
Truck. It's a funny bit.
You're annoyed by it.
I am annoyed by it. Anyways.
You're annoyed because you can't train your dogs.
No, I'm annoyed because you think I can't train my dogs.
I've been to your house.
They're happy dogs.
Mm-hmm.
They're happy dogs.
Cage them up.
Oh my gosh. So
you have 24 hours.
So the basic
Especially
plot,
the small one.
The basic plot is
Quincy is vicious.
Yeah, that's a Shih Tzu thing.
I'll never forget the way that Oakley treated my wife. Right?
Yeah.
Just disrespectful.
We trained that.
you train your dog when you open your back door, muddy paws to run straight to your cream colored couch, just so we're clear.
Yeah.
To just jump over in your couch. And then you guys were like, you let me stay the night there one time, and you're like, you can just sleep on the couch. And I was like, oh, can I?
It's covered in mud.
This is disgusting.
Here's the thing. I don't have to defend myself to you. So
you don't. You should, but you don't have to.
The scientist lived in Africa.
Yeah.
And he was in Africa for a year. He was with these lions. And I guess you could say training them. He's studying if he could create a relationship between humans and lions.
Sure.
Halfway through his stay in Africa, his family has to come out for some reason.
This is the plot of the movie?
Yeah. So his family has to come out, and then they're in Africa and with all these lions, and then there's a twist, and the lions all of a sudden have a problem with his family, and they have to like survive with the lions. But it's billed as a comedy. It sounds
a ferocious comedy.
It sounds like a horror, honestly, but it's not. It's a comedy. So they do a casting call,
okay.
And they get a lot of because they have connections. She's a major actress with a lot of connections in Hollywood.
Sure.
And so they get a lot of interest from people, and their agents are talking to them, and they're like, oh, this has potential. And then they start asking logistics. And then everybody starts finding out, oh, these are just you just have a bunch of lions. There's not do you have a crew? Are these trained?
Safety precautions?
Yeah, what is this? And so people start dropping.
I'd be more afraid of the geese than I am of the lions. Though they got four Canadian geese just wandering around.
And so that's pretty
Have you heard
sketchy.
those things?
They're mean. They're rude. And so they were targeting Jack Nicholson for the scientist.
Perfect.
He immediately was like, absolutely not. I'm not going to do that.
I'm busy.
And so they're going down from their A list of people. They go through the B list. They go through the C list. No one's biting on it. And in fact, a lot of the crew that they wanted to hire is I don't want to be involved in that.
Yeah.
And so after
I don't want to catch someone getting eaten live on camera.
So after about a year of working on it, they began filming. And what they said is, well, I guess we'll just do it. So Noelle...
We spent 10 years accumulating these animals, and now no one wants to do this idea.
Yes. So Noelle decides he'll be the scientist.
Okay.
Never acted a day in his life.
Right.
He's an agent and a producer. He's produced
Yeah,
a
but
couple
how
movies.
hard can it be?
Yeah, he's like, I can do it.
Yeah.
And then Tippy, obviously she's an actress, so she's got a lot of experience. She'll be the wife. And then their kids will be the kids. And then they found some random people who were like desperate for work to be all the extra side characters.
Okay.
Put together this ragtag group of a crew. And they started shooting. The goal was 6 months on set, and then they were going to compile that footage and put it into a movie. Here's the thing. These are not trained lions.
Right.
They're real lions. And shooting, it was kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? It was kind of improv. Like they had a concept, but they didn't script everything. And they're like, let's just see what happens. And so they just set up the cameras and they filmed it. And it went as well as you think it went.
Right.
They expected this to be like a $2 million venture. And they expected it to take 6 months. But because of complications, maybe that's a good word to use, it stretched.
What kind of complications?
So everybody was getting attacked by lions. The crew, the actors and actresses. It was
none of the family.
No, yeah, the family.
Over
the course of 6 years of filming, it ended up stretching to 6 years to film this.
Yeah,
because people kept getting hurt, and they had to pause for a while. Pretty significantly. 72 injuries occurred while filming this movie. There was situations where people got trampled. Tippy, she got gangrene because she was stepped on by the elephant, and it crushed her leg. She got an infection. She got gangrene, and so then she was out for months recovering from that.
She got stepped on by an elephant?
She got stepped on by the elephant, yeah. They all got bit and scratched and cut by big cats throughout the course of the movie. Multiple times, people had to get
doing
hundreds of stitches
with the cats. Do you know?
So this is interesting. I do know. I actually watched the movie. It's on YouTube for free. Just search Roar 1981. It's bad. Well, I should say the cinematography is pretty good. There's some shots that feel. It's obviously 1981, so it's like.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that era of like, it feels like an old Western, the way it's shot, like where it's, I don't know. It's a little slow. It's a little slow. No, it does. What I will say is the setting does feel a little believable that this is Africa, except for the animals are wrong. Because they have lions and tigers and mountain lions and stuff. And so that's kind of pulls you out of it for a bit, but like the setting itself, like the hills and like the open spaces do feel kind of like a savanna.
Okay.
So it is believable. And they've got a ton of land that they're filming this on.
Right.
And so there's not really any structures around. It's their log cabin in the middle of it. There's like a river that runs through it. And the movie is interesting because like I said, like there's these really kind of beautiful shots of like them driving through the property, and there's all these lions and animals and stuff all over the place, and like kind of, I don't know, just really nice looking shots. But then that's juxtaposed next to like actual dialogue, and the dialogue's awful. With the exception of,
what's the dialogue like? Hey, where are the big cats?
Kinda like stuff like that, but it's also a lot of, I should say, and I would say probably 80% of the film is them getting attacked by lions. And that's not an exaggeration. What they did is they would just go kind of honestly egg these animals on, get attacked, film it, and put it in the movie. And that was so much of the movie was them just getting attacked by lions. Here's a scene of Noelle getting attacked by a lion. And this is a genuine lion attack. Like this is not...
Is blood on his hand?
This is not... Yeah, that's his own blood. It's not a special effect. This isn't made to be different. This is another one of... This was his assistant.
Getting actually attacked by a lion.
Yeah, and then here we have I think that's his daughter, and then Tippy's trying to pull the lion off of her. This is his daughter jumping in the pool.
This is not what I thought it was.
It's genuine lion attacks, and multiple people ended up with like 70 plus stitches.
Did anybody lose limbs?
Nobody lost a limb, but a lot of people. One crew member.
I think I've seen this picture though. Like they've got like, because this is at their house though. This is not the. This is before they moved, right?
No, I think this is on the property because they do have the pool on the property. Here's a with the elephant.
This is just animal abuse though. That's their property?
Yeah, this is on their property.
That's wild.
Here's another shot. This is them laying in bed with a bunch of tigers. And then there's
crazy.
Kind of the apex moment of the movie. The family comes out, they visit. There's a really awkward scene where like they fly into Africa. They land in the airport. They have to get on this bus, and they bought this really sketchy looking bus to make it believable. They're riding in this bus. There's all these extras in the shot, and the kids and the mom are on the bus, and they're talking about how they haven't seen dad for a year. And so the mom says, she's like, well, why haven't we seen dad for a year? How do you think he's doing and stuff like that? And she's like, well, she said, we were having trouble. Sometimes like you need to take a break. Distance makes the heart grow fonder, And then hey, thanks for checking out this episode. If you like it, there is some great news for you. We have a mailing list. In that mailing list, we give updates on past episodes. So things in the news, things that happen for episodes. We've got over 200 episodes we've done. And every week, things are changing. New updates are coming out. And we're keeping you up to date on what's happening in the happenings of TILLN Topics. So if you want to keep learning stuff, even beyond the content of the episodes, that's a great place to do it. Also, we give updates on things that's happening in the TILLN verse. I like that. I've never said TILLN verse before, but I'm sticking with it. If you want to know what's happening in the TILLN verse, that's the best place to do it. You can go to TILLN.com. There's a link in the description, or you can text TILLN to 66866. There's a lot of ways to sign up for the mailing list to make sure you keep up to date with everything that we've talked about and everything that's going on in the TILLN verse. But anyways, now back to this episode. It's just like this really awkward scene. And then the daughter, I don't know if I can say this stuff on our show. We have a G-rated show. She asks some questions you don't ask your mom in front of all her siblings in a public bus. And it's like very uncomfortable. It's a very uncomfortable moment. And these are the kind of dialogue, like those are their comedy moments, are just like a little raunchy and weird. Like, but it's not, it never lands. Like there was never a single moment in this movie
where you were like,
where I laughed. Like I was like, that was supposed to be funny. There's a lot where I was like, that was supposed to make me laugh.
That's the way a lot of people watch this podcast. They go, oh, that was
just
that was supposed to be
comfortable. But the like crowning moment in the movie is there's a science group that comes out to meet with him. They freak out. They're like, oh, you're just living with a bunch of lions. They get there and there's a bunch of lions fighting, and he has to go break up a lion fight. So he just runs into a group of like 7 lions fighting each other, and then they start fighting him. And he gets like ragdolled because he just runs in and inserts himself into a genuine real life lion fight. The Noel, the producer, so the scientist. Yeah, he literally runs into it. They throw him in the pond. Like they literally like he runs in and one of them just swipes him and he like ragdolls into the pond. And those other scientists are there. They see that and they are like, we need to shoot these lions. They're going to kill one of you guys.
Yeah.
And he's like, you can't do that. And so those scientist guys see a couple of things. They freak out. They leave. And as a result of all that, the lions get really riled up and they start trying to kill everybody. And so then the back half of the movie is them just running around the house, running away from the lions. And that
was the storyline.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. This isn't real life that they was like the lions.
Well, it is real life.
Yeah.
The
lions are trying to kill them.
The lions are trying to kill them. But the storyline was that was happening. But the lions were just trying to kill him because they were trying to live with lions. At a certain point,
the real life story is more interesting than whatever movie you're trying to do.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. But yeah, and so it like culminates in this moment where they're in the house with all these lions and just running around the house trying to get away from like 45 lions inside the house. And it's like, you're not gonna get away from them. it's unreal. I mean, like, people got seriously injured on this set. There was a moment where the entire crew walked out after filming and he had to replace the whole crew because the crew's like, this is insane. We can't be a part of this anymore. And then he had to replace the entire crew because it was insane and people were constantly getting hurt. He said after the fact, he was like, it's honestly a miracle that we got away with this, like that, and it worked out. And it's like, it didn't work out.
Didn't work out.
Nobody died.
This film sucks.
Nobody died. It's really what he was saying. He's like, it's a miracle nobody died, is what he was trying to say. But a lot of people got seriously hurt, like seriously injured, because this was an insane idea. At one point, they realized, hey, the lions really don't like the motorcycle. And so the motorcycle,
great.
The motorcycle became a big thing in the movie. About halfway through the movie, the motorcycle became this recurring thing where they just drove the motorcycle around, and all the big cats would get fired up and start chasing him around on the motorcycle, and he would ride around the property while they chased him. I can't overstate how much of this movie is
just him getting attacked,
or the lions attacking each other or somebody else, and he has names for all of them, and he's running around calling them by name and trying to stop it. And so it's like
in the movie.
Yeah, it's in the movie. But he's like, but the way he's doing it is weird. He's like, Tabor, no, Tabor. And
that's how you guys act with your dogs. Quincy, no, Quincy, stop. And you're like, that's not doing anything. Stop.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
But they're lions.
Oakley.
It works on Oakley. It doesn't work on Quincy.
You guys shame your dogs. Quincy.
Yeah, it doesn't work on Quincy. Quincy's the worst. It works on Oakley though.
It works on you too. Tim.
But yeah, he's just running out yelling.
Have you done it to her?
No, I should try.
Bree. I do it to Reagan all the time. I go, Reagan.
And that's why she shames you in public.
Yeah,
goes, yes,
sucks.
Sir, Mr. Sir.
Yeah, she does that, and then people think that
sorry,
I'm like,
sir.
Yeah, she does that as a little bit, and people think that I'm like a psycho.
So,
Okay.
So after 6 years of production in 1981, they released this movie. The majority of the movie is just people actually getting attacked.
Yeah.
It got interrupted over and over again from people getting injured and from people walking out on it. What's interesting, there was, I think it was 79-ish, I don't know, somewhere around there, there was a big flood in the valley, and the flood broke the gates, and a bunch of the lions got out. 9 of the lions got out. And the police actually shot 3 of them because there was just lions running around town.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened with the other ones. But by the end of production,
33% is not a great record there, police.
But over the course of production, I said it was a 6-year production cycle. They started out with 70 lions, and then a handful of other big cats. By the end of production, they had 150 big cats on set.
How? They just kept getting them?
Yeah, and there were 72 attacks that they recorded. The vast majority of those required 10 plus stitches. There was pretty gruesome, a lot of really gruesome injuries. I don't think anybody lost limbs, but there's a lot of really gruesome injuries. Every attack in the movie is a real attack. All the blood in the movie is real blood. It is insane. They put this movie out in 81 and it didn't do well. They spent $17 million on it. Their budget was $2 million. And they spent $17 million. Halfway through production, all the investors backed out. They had a lot of problems with insurance through the whole process. They had to keep changing stuff to keep insurance happy. How they were able to pull that off, insurance clearly had to have no idea what was going on.
Yeah, they just kept switching insurance companies, or they were committing insurance fraud.
Yeah, it could have been both.
I am willing to bet that some people died.
Yeah, and they just didn't disclose it.
They just covered it up. Yeah,
that's honestly possible. That's very possible because it's hard to believe
that somebody didn't.
Because they pretty much their plan for every day of shooting was, let's go make these lions mad and see what happens and capture it on film. Like, it's hard to believe that, and people did regularly get hurt. So it hits the theaters and it grosses $2 million. And so massive loss. They end up having to sell all of their properties to make up for the loss of what they had. They convert this property into the Shambhala Preserve.
Okay.
And so now it's an animal sanctuary. They sold it to someone who's now running it. And I think part of the sale was you got a lot of lions and tigers and stuff now. And so like the only really thing you can do is start an animal preserve.
Yeah, there's nothing else you can do there.
Yeah, like this is your option. Like you can try to rehome them, but I don't know how you're going to do that.
Put it on Craigslist. Lions for sale.
150 lions, 150 acres.
55 lions, 55 tigers, 55 panthers.
So not a great result. Here's what's interesting about it. In 2014, I think it was.
Okay.
They
put it on YouTube. It grosses $18 billion.
Well, what they did is they put it on They didn't put it on YouTube. They re-released it. They did a re-release and made it like a
B horror movie kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of one of those things.
They were trying to make a cult classic out of it.
Yeah, and it kind of worked. They didn't make very much money. I don't know how much they made on this re-release. That's not like a figure we have. But what's strange is when you look at the ratings on IMDb. This isn't a great rating by any means, but it's better than I would have given it after having seen the movie. It's got a 6.1 out of 10 stars. Rotten Tomatoes, though, this is interesting. They gave it a 72%.
Is that audience score? Or
no, that's the
critic score?
That's the critic score. The audience score is 51%. The critics gave it 72%. And I think they...
Probably for the stunts.
I think what gave it a good score is genuinely like there are some shots that are like really good and the score is decent. So I think like it's like nerdy critic stuff that got it a high score. Because the dialogue is rough, the script is rough.
Yeah.
And the movie's hard to watch. It's very dull. Like you're just watching people get chased around by lions for an hour and a half, and it's like I'm so tired of this.
I watched that on TikTok though. I watch compilations of people getting hurt by big cats. I actually looked that up. Big cat compilation.
Yep. I tried to find it on PureFlix, but I can't find it. It's not on PureFlix.
Yeah, it's too much blood.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't even. Yeah, no one on. So PureFlix, this is one that you need to watch. I don't know if I'm allowed to watch it until I read the PureFlix review. So that's hard for me since you guys haven't covered it. But
that's crazy.
Yeah, the movie ended up being a pretty tough thing for them to swallow. So a year afterwards, Noelle and Tippy got divorced, probably as a result of her and her kids got attacked by lions over and over again because of him.
Yeah.
And then losing
stepped
everything
on by an elephant for your spouse, you know?
Yeah, it's true. And I mean, you got to figure too, like they did literally lose everything pursuing this project. And they got hurt a lot physically for it. And it did kind of like, I mean,
where are those kids now?
It's late in her career, but it did kind of hurt her. Like her career kind of was over after this.
For sure.
Which is pretty sad. Her kids, they went on to live pretty normal lives. Probably the most noteworthy thing about them is their daughter is the mother. So I guess their granddaughter was in 50 Shades of Grey. That's really the only noteworthy thing that comes out of their lineage.
She's the main girl?
Yeah. And so that's her lineage.
I don't know who the main actress is.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Okay.
So but like the rest of them just went on to live kind of normal lives and have this story that they tell at parties. They're like, I used to live with 150 tigers. Oh, the son though, when he was in high school, when they had the baby tiger, he used to take it to restaurants. And that's how he would pick up girls, as they would be like, "Oh my gosh, can I pet your tiger?" And he's like, "It's not really smart to do that out in public."
Yeah, you got to come back to my house.
Yep, he'd be like, "If I can get your phone number, you can come over to my house and you can meet I got a couple lions there too. You can meet."
I have a couple,
and it worked out really well for
79 actually, to be exact. I have a few lions.
I have a few lions. Yeah. Careful. They'll bite you.
And I have a macaw that is 89 years old.
But yeah, that's the movie Roar. They build it as their like tagline was Roar. No animals were harmed in the making of this movie.
But a bunch of people were.
100%. That's exactly how they advertised it.
Fiddle Off. Hey, thanks for checking out this episode of Things I Learned Last Night. If you liked that, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. And speaking of people who raised animals as their own, there's an episode about Andy Goose, a man who found a goose with no feet and then gave it shoes and became a viral sensation and, did speeches and talks and all about this goose. And then we dive into the mystery of that goose's demise. So it's actually a really wonderful, one of my favorite episodes. So you can absolutely go check that out. If you can't wait another week for a new episode, you can join us on Patreon, where you get next week's episode right now, ad-free, and you can get that on audio or video. We'd love to see you over there. You can join our Discord. We get to hang out and get to know each other a little bit more. And you can join monthly calls where we're just on a video call and we just chat. That's it. It's awesome. So thank you for being here. Thanks for supporting our show. We'll see you next week on Things I Learned Last Night.